They're still coming at her? Why? She, like, apologized. Which she didn't need to, but... They got mad at her after seeing a clip of her saying white people use too much cinnamon. Wait, really? That's crazy, man. Who cares what Reddit thinks? Yeah, no one actually cares what Reddit thinks, except Redditors do have this like inflated sense of self-worth, and they will, they will stalk you. They will cyber stalk you. They will make it their life's mission to cyber stalk you and ruin every experience, every relationship that ever happens. Asmon said she should be banned. What? No, he did not. There's no way. Like, recently? Like, Asmongold saw that Daphne, 39 Daph, said, white people are no-purpose flour, okay? 2 years ago at this point, and she should be banned for it now because she apologized for it? No, I don't believe that. Oh, yeah, no, guys, that was 2 years ago, by the way, almost. That was when I said, when I got banned for saying cracker. The only reason why this is, like, resurfaced or whatever is because Dav took it up. Dav decided to apologize for it. Bro, just say yeast Yeti.
It's like
there's no way. Come on, Asmon.
If somebody had made these jokes about black people, they would never be getting unbanned. If they had made the
Yeah. Yeah, yes, I agree. I do agree with that. Yeah, of course. Because there is a two-tiered system. Yeah, it's not the same. That's why you can't say the N-word. But you can say cracker. 39 Daph has Hasanabi level haters? No, 39 Daph has Hasanabi's haters. Her biggest mistake wasn't that she said anything. Her biggest mistake was defending me. That sparked a lot of interest from my haters to latch onto her as well. The issue is those unhinged psychopaths, because she's a woman, also have like a secondary interest in her as well. Every female content creator has stalkers. Every single one of them. Every single fucking one of them. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not your fault too. Like, they made their own ecosystem in here in Hascourt. What do you mean? Reverse racism train isn't going to stop without direct action against it. We're going to have to fight this battle. Idiots are going to win otherwise. No, that's not true. No, most normal people outside who haven't had their fucking brains lasered permanently from being online give a fuck about this discourse, okay? That's not a real thing. People in Florida literally called themselves crackers, okay?
these jokes about Asians or Mexicans or something like that, they would never be getting unbanned.
First of all, that's not true. No, it's true if you say that about black people, yes. They probably wouldn't get unbanned, even though plenty of people have. But as far as Asians, what? You crazy? No, they definitely... People definitely get away with a bunch of shit against Asians. Like, that's crazy.
Like, I understand that, jokes.
She's friends with / collabs with corpo VTubers, so her haters target them and their employer too relentlessly. Yeah, I know. I don't know, bro. My white libtard friends have weird views on anti-racism. Doomer Kuming, you're a fucking brain-broken Twitch viewer. Of course, your friends are also probably brain-broken, okay? Anyone that says, like, look, people have this attitude for sure about, like, white people that are, under attack and need to be protected. We just call them Republicans, usually, okay? But, like, anyone who goes, wow, I can't believe you're saying cracker, or I can't believe you're saying an anti-white slur like redneck or hillbilly or honky, okay? Like, that is so crazy. Like, real people in the real world do not say that, okay? Real people do not have that take. That's an insane take. That's just a Reddit take, but not even a Reddit take. That's a LSF subreddit take. Because if you recall back when the discourse was happening, they tried to like spread it to other subreddits and they got laughed out of every single fucking subreddit where people were like, what? Fuck off. This is an extremely online thing. White fragility is very real and a lot of people have it, but white fragility to that degree is new. Or not new, but like is extremely online.
Are not racism, but like that's not really true whenever every other form of joke would be considered bannable.
Yeah. I mean, every other form of this joke would be considered bannable. The reason why whiteness is not viewed in the same lens as like any other kind of race is because whiteness is an ever expanding concept that oftentimes doesn't even revolve around the color of your skin. After all, Daff is more pale than most of the people shitting on her for not being white. You know what I mean? Whiteness is just about proximity to power. Therefore, whiteness as a categorization or as a group of people cannot really ever be systematically discriminated against, as it quite literally means having power or having better proximity to power, closer proximity to power. Anyway, the moderation fallacy is a super powerful device. We have to make people understand why race isn't symmetrical, or else they will assume that it is, and that is all sensible rather than reactionary. Just my 2 cents. And reverse racism was once a very, very present concept until not long ago. That's what colorblind racism was coined to describe. Anti-white racism represents the denial of the historical and contemporary reality of racial discrimination and erases the concept of white privilege. Yup. It does. You can discriminate and say mean things about white people as a category, okay? But given what whiteness is, it's never going to have the same emphasis or the same power as any other marginalized group. This is the more modern version of the same argument that I used to have, unfortunately, every fucking week on debate shows. When I first started on this platform, all I did, non-fucking stop, was defend the now understandable attitude, hopefully, that white people shouldn't say the N-word. The why can't I say it discourse was something that I used to have to engage with every fucking week. And now, at least we've elevated that to, you can't be, you should stop being mean to white people. Okay? Racism without systemic or contemporary discrimination, okay, without real marginalization, without any sort of like material consequence, is just the same as like making a joke about an ethnic group like Italians, okay? Making an Italian joke, making a British joke, which many of you always do, and myself included. The reason why we go heavy on jokes like that, not because we have real hatred in our hearts about Italian people. Well, maybe some of you might. Okay? It's the same as making a joke about, it's the same as making a heterophobic joke. That's it. Plain and simple. The why no straight pride parade concept is laughable. Everybody understands it. Everybody knows it's stupid as fuck. Also, it's hilarious because, like, you know, I'm white. So, there is that too. Asman also even thinks saying white people have privilege is racist. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know. I mean, that's just wrong. That is wrong. I'm a white person. Okay? Well, not according to some, but regardless, as a white person, even my proximity as a white passing person allows me to have certain privileges. It's true. The privilege doesn't mean that like automatically every white person is better off than every black person. That's not true. Okay? Not true. Like, clearly, a white homeless person is in a worse position overall than motherfucking Oprah. Okay? Yeah, as chatters are calling Oprah time. Yes, I've talked about this so many times that you guys already know exactly what I'm going to say. Okay? I hate that this is like such 2016 ass discourse. Oh, sucks. This conversation would never happen in real life. Why do people entertain this shit? No. These elements of the conversation happen all the time in the real world. White privilege, reverse racism. Those are very normal concepts. I'm talking about people manufacturing outrage over someone saying like cracker, someone saying redneck, and then considering that, or making like white people jokes and then getting very mad about white people jokes. That is an extremely online discourse. Oftentimes infiltrated by psychotic fascists too. Like half the time, people are getting duped by literal racists, like actual fucking out and about racists that get in the discourse to go, oh, I'm so mad, right? Guys, we're all mad about this, right? I mean, what about anti-white racism? It's white identitarian politics. According to Richard Spencer, at least. That's what he used to call it. Black people are not mad about the N-word because it's just a mean word. They're mad because of the power that the word holds. And the power does not come from it being mean. The power comes from systemic oppression. Okay? There were people pushing replacement theory and upvoted in the Asman thread. Exactly. Anytime reverse racism comes up, okay? Anytime reverse racism comes up, all of those fucking weirdos get in there to be like, yeah, and also look at this. Think about the great replacement theory, am I right? Why? Why do they do that? Because it's a great opportunity to fucking sprinkle a little bit of fucking white identitarian radicalization into the fold. Anyway. Would you say saying the N-word is the same as telling someone they are lesser than you? It comes with a lot of weight as a consequence of historic repression, segregation, slavery, the poverty cycles that even contemporary black people are subjected to. It's reminiscent of that. I'll give you a good example. A lot of the Confederate statues in this country were not actually built in the immediate aftermath of the Civil War ending. They were not built in the Reconstruction era. They were actually built during times of any kind of civil turmoil, any kind of struggle, specifically when black people were advocating for emancipation or anything like that, or equality. They were built outside of courthouses in, public areas for one specific purpose, and they were built during the Civil Rights era. The reason why they built these Confederate statues during the Civil Rights era and not during Reconstruction was to remind black people of their place in American society. It was an intimidation tactic. It was to show black people that these people who fought and died to continue enslaving you are important to us. This country was built by white people for white people. Okay? That's why they put that fucking shit outside of the courtyard. That's why they had the Confederate flag in their state flags. That's why they still named schools after Robert E. Lee. When Robert E. Lee himself, at his deathbed, said that there should be no statues for him, that the Confederate flag should not be raised, that they had lost. Okay? That's white fragility, and it goes for it is the same exact attitude as the power that the N-word holds. Okay? When you call a black person the N-word, or when you just say the N-word, you are reminding everyone around you that at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break that I forgot to run. I could have waited for Black History Month to be over, and I still did that segue. That's right. You no longer want to see those ads. All you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Do you feel dirty now? A little bit. It was cold. It was ice cold. It was ice cold. Okay. Tyrone Culkin, thank you for the 5 get the subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Okay, we're going to run that back. I'm going to run that back. Okay. It was disrespectful. It was cold-blooded. Whew. Okay. Okay. Just like the Confederate statues being built outside of schools, City Hall, and courthouses, it's that exact same reminder when you use the N-word as a white person, okay? That this country was built by white people, for white people, and that you have no role in the society as a free person, okay? That's it. And this is also part of the reason why white people do not understand this reality. They will never understand this reality. Define built by white people, you know what I mean. Fucking built by white people. Of course it wasn't built by white people. Oh. What the fuck? Top of the hour bot is flipping people off. That got an 8.68. That's crazy. You guys are fucked up. The bot is fucked up for that, for real. Not the bot, but you guys are fucked up for that. Because the subtext wasn't written to intimidate white people. Please just say no one should use slurs in conversation because it's unhelpful. I mean, yeah, but that's not the conversation that we're talking about. Conversation that we're having is not about being unhelpful. Yeah, if I'm trying to talk to a white person, okay, I'm not going to be like, you fucking cracker. You don't understand anything. Like, that's not what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? That would be fucking ridiculous. Yes, it is unhelpful. Kind of funny, though, but unhelpful. That's a conversation Normans think we're having, though, and anything else is kind of alienating because they don't have or don't care to add any more context. Yeah, well, going to be hard for me to make sure that motherfuckers aren't lying about me. Stop. You're going to get banned just before Japan? No, that was contextually appropriate. I didn't point it at anyone exactly. Anyway, I don't know. That flew out of your mouth like it's been done before. Fuck yeah, it's been done before. I have no shame in that. Bitch, I got banned for it. I got banned for anti-white racism. What do you mean? Fuck are you talking about, dude? Hey, don't make me pull it out, okay? I will fucking pull it out. Do you see this? Do you fucking see this? Yeah. Saying, man, you feel real comfortable saying the word. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do feel comfortable. Unhelpful is different than dangerous. C word is unhelpful while the N word is dangerous, chatter. Yep. Dangerous my ass? Wait, what do you mean? No, the N word is dangerous in the sense that, like, it is dangerous. Why are you saying dangerous my ass? Yeah, of course the N word is. It implies danger. It implies that, like, you're around a person who does not see you as a human being and is pointing to the many parts of not just, history, American history, but also contemporary existence where black people have been mistreated, but also considered less than human. I thought you were talking about the C word. Sorry. No, I'm not talking about the C word. It's a direct threat of violence historically. Yep. You are a very wealthy man. Okay. Thank you, chatter. Anyway, Let's see what Oliemi had to say.
Ain't it funny how racists will never seem to know when something very racist is racist, but they suddenly know what reverse racism is? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? You could literally describe.
I mean, yeah, if reverse racism was like a real thing and just as racist, then you would just call it racist. You wouldn't call it reverse racism. You know what I mean?
A whole fucking hate crime against black people. Literally, they'll be watching white supremacists and cop and they be like, what does race have to do with this? Not everything is about race. Why is it about race? But if you be like, oh, I want to go to a black doctor, they be like, oh, racist! Racism! Reverse racism! Wokeness! Fuck you. Ain't it funny?
Reverse racism is racism against your own race. That's what I was told in AP Psych. I may be wrong. This is one of those things that is just like so hard for me to get across to people. I've talked about it a million times over. Other white people love bringing reverse racism up the minute I acknowledge institutionalized racism. Yeah. Why does it matter what race your doctor is? For black people, it does matter. There's literally a concept that people learn in medical school, okay, when they're becoming a doctor, that they work hard to unlearn, basically, called medical racism. There's plenty of evidence for this as well. Study after study has shown that, of course, the overwhelming majority of doctors are white. Very tiny amount of doctors, a marginal amount are black. And white doctors often think that black people have a higher tolerance to pain, for example. Also, then there's this. Black women are over 3 times more likely to die in pregnancy postpartum than white women. There is a major racial disparity in U.S. maternal deaths. Major. This is part of the reason why black people want to go to black doctors. Yeah. Rich black women die more in childbirth than poor white women? What the fuck? I did not know that. That's crazy. Is that real? Yeah. African Americans are still highly racist to Asians and Muslims, and when they get confronted about it, they brush it off as reverse racism doesn't exist. You want to know why this is so funny to me as a take? Because this motherfucker literally acts like there isn't already also like a pretty sizable chunk of the black population in America that's also Muslim. Maybe not like Muslim in the Sunni Shia sense, but like, you know, Muslim. Everyone in every community in the United States of America has bigoted perspectives towards others, okay? Black people included. Singling out black people in this regard is silly. I talked about this with the whole homophobia in the black community and no one is addressing it take. This is just a more liberal way to basically reinforce the same bullshit. Okay? A St. Louis doula program, part of a nonprofit that received funding in the $1.7 trillion federal budget bill, looks for solutions and a benefit largely associated with affluent white women. From Hoscord. Oh, come on now. My cracker pass is real. That is bullshit. That's like Steven Seagal shit. Fucking assholes. Do you think East Asians have equal privilege to white people? Should they be included as being white? No. It depends, but not really. Especially because like that's such a gigantic fucking that's you're talking about like a gigantic swath of people that come from insanely different financial backgrounds. People always say East Asian. It's like, okay, you're not talking about Vietnamese people. You're not talking about Cambodian people. You're talking about like a certain subsect of like first generation Chinese people that have come to this country from more privileged backgrounds. Okay. Yeah. Motherfuckers never talking about Filipino people. They're never talking about Vietnamese people. They're never talking about Laotian people, Cambodian people, Indonesian motherfuckers. None of that. You're just literally only talking about, and not even all Chinese people or all Japanese people in America. You're just only talking about a certain subsect that is like very wealthy, okay, that came here for college. And for the record, they still experience anti-Asian hate too. You know? It's so silly. There isn't like one kind of East Asian, man. That's a wild. There isn't one kind of Asian, okay? Technically, I'm fucking Asian. You know what I mean? I'm from the continent. That's how big that fucking continent is. Without mentioning colonialism's tendency to spark and grow fundamentalist influence in the countries they target, most laws targeting women and gay people did not exist so prevalently as they do now in the region, but a direct import from Western colonists. Yep. Why are two Hasanabi followers fighting one another? Middle Eastern Islamophobes are agents of imperialism and must be eliminated if we are to liberate our societies. A good number of these more oppressive Islamic laws and systems or norms that exist now are less from the Quran, but products of imperial rule themselves. Hence, it's not a black and white thing. Name one. What do you mean? For example, one of the best examples you can always use is that like in the Arab world, okay, in the MENA region especially, a lot of the Sharia that you think of when you think of like what Sharia law is now, a lot of that was just tribal courts left up to like individual areas, okay, completely removed from any kind of like federal centralized power. Centralization with Western colonial influence unironically turned that into fundamentalist principles that need to be applied in the federal way. You're talking about like literal fucking interpretations of, you know, family law or tribal law that was implemented at the federal level when that never was the case. True. That's why we must not see religion as inherently evil, but another aspect of culture. Okay, never mind. They're agreeing with one another. They're not even fighting one another. I'm honestly trying to understand the stance. So racism is not a person hating and seeing another person as less human. I mean, it's bigotry and it's racism at the individual level, yes. What you're describing is racism at the individual level. But it is still more nuanced than that. Isn't zakat a very egalitarian idea about redistribution of wealth? Yes, it is. Is it justified to bully, abuse, whatever, just because you have it worse than someone? I don't mean the stupid white people getting upset about the stuff that doesn't exist, but genuinely vicious attitudes some people have towards white people. Isn't that? I get that it's punching up, but wouldn't it be better if not to punch at all? Genuine. Yes. But this is the same conversation that takes place every single time we talk about this shit. You have psychotic radfems, for example, on Twitter that constantly say, I'm like a pedophile sex trafficker or whatever the fuck. Like whatever kind of unhinged schizophrenic shit you can come up with, right? Those are the same people that say all men are trash, all men are rapists, all men need to die, right? Okay, who cares? They're powerless. You have to recognize, okay? You have to recognize that those people are fucking screeching on Twitter because they have no fucking power and they recognize their powerlessness and that's why they're doing it. So ultimately, there is less emphasis and less power in those words. So whenever people say stuff like that, I just go, yeah, you're silly. Who cares? And that's what you would do if you were a normal person. That's what you should do. It's a reaction. Why focus on the reaction when you can focus on the action that caused them to lash out? There's that too. Like when black people are mad at white fragility or white negligence or white people in general, okay? They're mad at the system and they're getting upset and they're saying things like this. But ultimately, the truth still remains that they are powerless. They're powerless in the face of the system. The system's marginalizing them, killing them. You know what I mean? Impoverishing their communities. So different race doctors of their race because each race is different. Isn't this basically race science? Please help me understand. Humans are humans. No, man. It's biases. No one said doctors need different races because different races are different. No, it's actually literally that. The problem is that people from different racial backgrounds are not all that different, anatomically speaking. And yet doctors, unironically, still have those biases. Hello? It's literally that. That's the point. The point is that what I just described to you what is going on, and you just completely, it went over your head, it seems. Wait, don't ban him. I want to hear what he has to say. Oh, you gave him a 1 second timeout. Isn't demographics a factor as well? There would be more white people in general in most fields? No. Oh my God. Yeah, demographics is a factor. So why is it that like 13% of the population only make up like 3% of the doctors then? I love when motherfuckers always do the demographics argument. What's up with that? Yeah. Demographics, if demographics are an argument, like, what's up? Like, you know, there's just more white people in this country. Is that why there's only 11 black senators and 11 black congresspersons in the history of the fucking country? Or 11 black senators? Throughout the history of the Senate's existence, 11 black people have become senators. You think that's, you think that's demographics? 11 throughout the history. I'm not talking 11 right now. Huh. Interesting. Only 5% of doctors are black. I thought it was 3, but maybe I was wrong. It's 5% of doctors. So what's up? You think there's still some racial disparity there, or what do you think? Just a weird coincidence how that happened, I think. Yeah. Obama himself was the 5th. You get it? You understand? So even whenever people talk about like racial disparities, well, black people, there's less black people in the country. Okay. So why doesn't that add up on the math side? No, I agree. I understand. Going back on that clip, no, I agree, just misunderstood. Yeah, it was a common teaching that black women felt less pain than white women in medical textbooks. That is what we're talking about when we talk about medical racism. I assume they were saying black people needed black doctors due to physical reasons. No. Anyway.